Hi everybody, this is Sue, and I have a very quick project for today. Hopefully it won't take very long at all. I'm hoping it doesn't. So it is about 7 o'clock in the evening. It's July 30th, 2021, and it's raining, which is kind of unusual for us, but it is raining. And you might hear a little bit of thunder, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Actually, it kind of looks like it might be clearing off out there, so I guess our little splash of rain is about gone. So, okay, so this is still the boxes. This is going to be a little storage box. And what you do is you just sew around the three sides like this, and then we're going to pinch the corners together to make the bottom of the bag. And what you do is you take this and you put your hand down here in the corner. Now you sew around there and you clip your corners. You have to do that. And then the side seam and the bottom seam should be together. If they're not, it becomes real apparent when you get finished with it. So a good way to do that is just to take a pin and stick it down through the side seams and see if it matches up with the bottom seam. And then there you've got your pin. It's in there, they match. Okay, now then, take your ruler, and however deep you want this to be, I'm going with 1.5 inches, which will make a 3-inch bottom, or it should. And so I'm just going to put this down here. I'm going to take a pin, and I'm going to draw straight across according to, see that? That's the sewing line right there. So we'll just kind of put this pin in here like this to kind of hold it where it's supposed to be. And this one over here, I kind of made a mistake and put the line up here, but this, I accidentally put the line up here. It should be down here, and this is the sewing line right here. So we're going to sew this corner and this corner, and then the bottom will box like that. And this is very quick, very easy, and set the needle, stitch it forward a little bit, stitch it back. Now, I did this a while ago. I got it crooked. That looks straight. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's straight across there. So we can take that pin out. Okay, now then, we'll take this, stick this up here out of the way, and we're going to stitch straight across on this one too. Now, you can, if you want to, or you can leave it this way if you want, or you can trim this off. It doesn't, I like these scissors. These are my heavy-duty cut-through thick fabric scissors, and I use them for everything. I've got, I don't know how many umpteen pairs of scissors I've got. So you can cut that off, You don't have to, but it does make it a little bit neater. And what I have done, I've put hooks along my table here right under my sewing machine. I've got my scissors on this side. I've got my rotary cutters over here on the left side on hooks. And I put just scraps of like this on there just to because if you try to hang this on one of those command hooks, it's not going to work. They just pop right off. But you put a loop in there, they hang right on it. And so let's see, I'm going to turn this so I can show you what this looks like. Okay, now then, I don't know if you can see that or not. See how they line up? This is the bottom of the bag. This is the sides. And so we're going to do the same thing on the outside. And see, that's should stand up. It will once we get done with it. See there? So, we're going to do the same thing with this one. Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure I didn't have a foreign object that I was going to sew on there. Okay, I apologize for the noise. Let's see. Oops, I'm just going to show you how to do this. Let's see. If I can get you over here where you can see. I need to chip that just the tiniest bit. Okay. Okay. Now, let's make sure that's sewn good all the way around. We don't have anything where it's not. It's always a good idea to check your work before you proceed, just to make sure that everything is the way it should be. Now, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to match up. Now, let's cut these corners first. Just But I got those kind of narrow there, so it's not going to be much of a clip there. And so we're going to put our hand in here, squeeze that like that. You want to make sure, because it's really noticeable. If these don't match up, it's very noticeable. And put this down into that side seam and then poke it through and make sure that they are lined up. And yes, they are. And so, gee, I hope that's still recording. We want to make this at 1.5 inches, which is right there. So we want to lay that down, and 1.5 from the tip to, and there's, ouch, let's pin that there because that's straight now. And we'll do the other side, same thing, pinch that, and put that right through there just to make sure that that's even. Yep, we've got that even. So mark that. Now you can make this any size you want, but be aware that if you make this like at 1.5 inches, the bottom of the bag is going to be 3 inches wide. It'll be double what you're putting in there because you're taking from the side and you're taking from the bottom. So you've got to double. You've got to double it. So if you want a 2-inch bottom, you want to put in a 1 inch. You want to measure it 1 inch here. So I will sew across here. Sew across here like this. Okay. Alright, so we'll clip this. Scissors I want. We'll clip this. And we'll clip this. And we'll turn this so you can see it. And so there's the bottom. Now what we need to do is put these two together. We have to have right sides together, as always, or a pretty side, whatever you call it. Pretty side, right side. So, we'll put this bag inside this bag. And we want to leave, as always, we want to leave an opening so we can turn it once we're done sewing it. Now, what I usually do, just so I know to stop, I put 2 pins where I'm going to keep it open. I put 2 pins and an X. That just kind of says, hey, you're supposed to stop here, because I have a bad habit of closing it up. Then I have to take it out because, you know, that isn't going to work. So, I'm going to put this in the machine, and because you want to make the lining just a little bit smaller than the bag, because if you don't, it will just kind of, it won't fit exactly right. So if you make it just slightly smaller, it doesn't have to be much, just a little bit, then once you turn it, it will fit down in there like it's supposed to, and it won't be all rumply and stuff like that. So this won't take long. We're just going to sew around, turn it, and then close that. So I can take this off to make that easier. Let's move this out of the way. Now, let's see if I can make this where you can see what's going on. Nope. I am sorry about this. I'm trying to learn how to use this. There, I think that's going to be about it. So, sorry, I kind of grabbed hold of it and moved it, and now I don't know what you're seeing and what you're not seeing. Okay, hopefully you can see that. I hope. So, let's try this again. I don't know. Okay. Hopefully that's good. This is not, there we go. That's where that's supposed to be. And if it starts to kind of rumple up on you underneath your presser foot, just raise the presser foot up and just kind of push it back. So here we are. Stitch, just a little up, and take these pins out. Double check, make sure everything is sewn the way it's supposed to be. Now reach in here, and we're going to turn everything through this hole. So now we want to, I always use a knitting needle to poke out the corners, make sure they're poked out. And poke out the corners on the outer bag. Push this down in here. And so now we want to close this up and top stitch around. So we're going to do that. We're going to top stitch around that. In the interest of time, I am not going to take this to, well, maybe I will. I'm just going to pause this for a minute. Okay. Now, can you see that? Okay, we are now top stitching and closing up that gap, or at least that's what I hope we're doing. Once I get over here to the end of this, I will take a look at it and make sure that it's doing what I want it to do. Okay. 1 year. just before Easter, my cousin called me, and she said, do you have any Easter fabric? And I said, oh, yeah, probably. And she said, well, I want you to make some kind of a little thing for the decorations, the table decorations for the potluck on Easter Sunday at church. And I said, well, okay, how many do you want? And she said, I think she said either 15 or 20, I don't remember. And I made up a bunch of these little bags. And I assumed that she was probably going to put some kind of a treat in them, you know, like wrapped candy or, you know, wrapped hard candy or something. No, she put plants in them. And then she gave them away. And they were cute. What I had was some Easter egg fabric. They were cute. But, you know, I made all of them in about one afternoon. So these things, once you get the hang of it, you can make a lot of them at one time. So here it is. I always turn it down a little bit, like that. Come on. So this is it. It stands up on its own, or it's supposed to. Well, maybe it doesn't. Maybe I just told a story. Maybe it doesn't stand up on its own. It should. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see that or not, but see, the lining is not sagging in there. I made it just a little tiny bit smaller than the outer bag. Now you can store stuff in there. And I always say bag when I mean box. And so, but anyway, this is it. That needs to be trimmed. Nope, it doesn't want to stand up on its own. But anyway, there we go. There it is. It's standing up all by itself. And these things are fast. They're easy. They're fun to make. And they're cute. And you can make them any size that you want to make them. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I know I'm not doing a real good job with this. I'm trying, but I just have to learn how, and I guess you're my guinea pigs. So I will see you again real soon, I hope. Bye.